Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Syafa Kamila Ardyaputri dari Kode Manajemen. NIM saya 2892050032. Di sini saya akan membahas tentang UTS Bahasa Inggris, yaitu membaca naratif teks.
The origin of Surabaya. Once upon a time, in the northern part of East Java, there lived a scary giant crocodile. He was the ruler of the river and the predator who was feared by all the animals in the forest near the river. The name of the crocodile was Baya. He was very good at hunting, so all of the animals in the jungle were afraid of him. Baya lived in a river. In the sea, there lived a white shark named Sura. He ruled the sea, and every fish was scared of him. However, Sura felt bored because he ate fish every day. He was curious about the river near the sea. One day, he decided to go to the river. At the side of the river, there was a deer that was drinking water. Sura felt hungry, so he swam silently to eat and jumped out to catch the deer. Sura was happy to get such delicious food. After eating the deer, Sura became addicted. The next day, he hunted back on the river and got a lot of food. After a couple of days, Baya became suspicious because it was harder and harder for him to find prey. He started investigating what was happening. When Baya saw Sura catch a little monkey in the river, Baya became angry. "Hey Sura, what are you doing here? This is my territory. How dare you snatch my prey?" Sura was not afraid of Baya. He challenged Baya to a fight. "Hey, I can look for food anywhere I want. It's not just your territory here. All animals are free to look for food here." Finally, a fight could not be avoided, and the fight began. Because both of them were strong, the fight was very long. For days, all of the animals in the forest were disturbed by the fight. They couldn't sleep. Finally, the two white animals were exhausted. No one won and no one lost, because both of them were equally strong. "Sura, we better end this fight. I'm too tired." "So am I, Baya." "Okay, let's end this battle." "Sura, first we need to limit our hunting area. The end of the river is the limit. Don't you break the line or you will feel the consequences." "Okay, Baya, I accept this agreement." Sura finally left the river and returned to the sea. For months, the forest calmed down. There were no fight between Sura and Baya. But Sura felt uneasy. He longed to eat deer meat like before. There were a lot of fish in the sea, but it wasn't enough for him. He couldn't bear it, so quietly, he swam toward the mouth of the river. If I look for prey near the river's mouth, Baya won't know because he lived further up the river. Unfortunately, no prey approached the mouth of the river. Sura was tired of waiting. Finally, he swam up the river toward the forest. Sura wanted to go back to the jungle again. This time, he would be careful not to be caught by Baya. He. I will catch the prey and immediately bring it out to the sea, so Baya won't see me. He. The plan was successful, and for months Sura hunted in the river without being discovered. Over time, Baya became suspicious because again, his prey was reduced. But this time, he didn't see Sura in the river. But he believed this was Sura's doing. This must be Sura. Watch out, Sura. Then, Baya prepared plan. Baya found a deer, but didn't catch him right away. Instead, he hurt the deer's leg so he couldn't run away. The deer was placed on the edge of the river. Then Baya hid. A short time later, Sura swam up the river and saw the injured deer. He felt excited because the deer was fat. "Wow, lucky me! Today I'll have a feast." Na. Just as he was about to bring the deer to the sea, suddenly Baya confronted him. "Hey, you sure are stubborn and shameless, Sura. How greedy are you? Imagine the fish in the sea are abundant, but you are still hunting in my area. Hey Baya, if you want, you can hunt in the sea. I don't forbid you." I don't like fish, and I especially can't stand the seawater. Well, it's okay if you don't want it. At least I have offered it to you. Surah answered lightly and dragged the deer to the sea. Baya got angry, then attacked Surah. Hey, where do you think you're bringing that deer? To the sea. I'll let it there. Bring the deer here. I caught it to trap you. Well, it's your fault. You didn't eat the deer yourself. You forgot our agreement? This river is my territory. Hey, if there is water, there is me. This agreement is ridiculous. Okay, then our agreement is cancelled. Now the strongest one has the right to rule this area. Finally, Baya attacked Surah. A fight couldn't be prevented. This time it was even more exciting. No one dared to approach the area of the fight. Ah, yeah. Grrr. Surah always dodged his attack, and Baya became annoyed. When Surah was off guard, Baya managed to bite his tail. Ouch, my tail! Surah did not want to lose. Both of them were in pain and seriously injured. However, Baya did not despair. He continued to bite until Surah's tail was cut off. Surah was in so much pain. He ran away, leaving Baya toward the sea. Since then, Surah has not dared to approach the river, and since he no longer had a tail, he couldn't swim as hard as once had. Ah, it's so painful. Oh my! To commemorate the fierce fight, the area where the two animals fought was called Surabaya, and the name remains to this day. Sekian dari saya, mohon maaf jika ada kesalahan kata. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.